Hello everyone, I'm Stopan and it's been some time, but I'm ready with another video. I have a few new updates to show you what I've been doing the past few weeks. Basically, first things first, I finished a set of 2 journals, which are again with the red gold skin that the previous 2 journals are made. I have some making of footage which I'll include in the video. And my first tries at Lino Printing, which was absolutely fun. These are my first prints, which came out with a few uncalculated mistakes, but nevertheless it's something that's going to be incorporated in my future work, and I can't wait, to be honest. 2 new pens from my dad, and another new announcement that we opened for commissions for the holidays and later. Basically, you can find on my website that there is a simple form, a custom order form that covers many of the aspects that go into making of a book. In addition to the form, there is a helpful article that covers every element, what it means if you don't know how each of the parts of the book are named, and so on and so forth. So I hope it's going to be a help for anyone that wants to choose something for them or for a loved one, but not sure what exactly. And it's going to be absolutely a big help for me, because this is a great way to start a conversation about custom orders when everything you want is actually laid in like a list form, and so we can go on from there. But without further ado, let me show you these ones, which I really like. This time I chose to sew on cords again rather than tapes, but they are kind of sewn in and covered by the lining layers. So there's a smooth spine again, and I like minimal tooling, but not as much as something more complex, so I didn't really go for the absolutely minimal one that was in the previous books. But something else I've tried is this saddle stitched leather handband, which actually was it's a bit modified version, as it's usually done with the covering leather, but I've trimmed a piece of brown gold skin and glued it onto the spine, where there is already sewn in a cord core. So basically this leather goes over this core and is saddle stitched with the linen thread from the front and back, and later it's covered by the crimson goat skin that is actually the covering leather. And something else for this decoration, which is somewhat close to what I usually do, but the designing phase was not how I usually go about it, because I've had this habit, a bit of bad habit, to sketch and to draw decorations on scrapped piece of paper which I usually throw away at some point. So this led me unconsciously at some point to not be very thrilled about it, because it's something that I'm going to throw away. Basically, it's like I'm doing something that has absolutely no value. So I was more or less quite unmethodical in my decoration and designing, impulsive, which led to some mistakes and some surprises that were not always pleasant, although sometimes there is one or two pleasant surprises. But now I've made myself an absolutely ugly sketchbook, but I like it very much. It's with thick drawing paper, and I've decided to use the right side for the chaotic sketching phase, but use my handmade paper to make patterns with my tools, which I later color. So basically I do this right side chaotic sketching phase, and I try later to extract some symmetrical elements which I can actually convert into a proper decoration with my tools. So this is something new, and I look forward to it, because I've thrown away each of my past sketches and models, but this maybe in a year will be an absolutely interesting book to go through, because I can follow some kind of progression, and hopefully I'll get to practice my drawing work. As you can see, it's not quite good. I'm good at assembling things, assembling different elements, but I'm not really good at producing a drawing. And my connection with mind and hand is it's not so good. Something is lost along the way. Anyway, the decoration was done first with the blind tooling. I've done all the lines and all the small elements which go, as well as my letters for my name on the back. And most of the lines go through the cover on the front and to the back. And when the blind tooling was finished, I actually set glare only on the parts where gold was going to be tooled. Usually I glare the whole surface, but as this decoration was not so complex and not requiring that much space on the surface, I'm very, very glad with how this tooling turned out. I didn't repeat absolutely anything. It was something that I've kind of improved, because I kept the moisture of the leather a higher quantity than usual. So it was moistened at first. The glare was applied shortly afterwards. And this led for the leather to be very malleable and plastic, which made a good relief and a good sticking of the gold. So this is something I'm going to do on from now on more frequently, because it brought marvelous results. They're both available for sale on my website and my shop, and as well as the two new pens which my dad made. We called them the Stopan collection because this summer he was in a workshop in Sopot, a city in Bulgaria where master engravers are gathering, and he was at a workshop where he studied metal inlaying in wood as well as fine engraving, and these were the first ones that he produced with this new set of skills he acquired there. Something I've been wanting to do for a very long time, even though I told you that I can't draw very well. I wanted to do some kind of printing. So I took up Lino Printing because it sounded like the simplest type there is, without big investment. I already have a press which I used for these impressions. I felt like a child, honestly. It's so fun to do. I have nice inks which can be washed with soap and water, but are actually oil-based, so best of both worlds, I guess. And I have these nice file set of engraving tools, but of course I made this mistake that I wrote my letters regularly and they came out backwards in the print, but whatever, this was the test print, and I'll just keep it in mind in the future. But I have big plans for this, because I want, when I come up with a few designs, I want the end papers for each of my journals from then on to have a kind of a personal design in each of them. And maybe the leftover prints that are not used for journals, I'll just make available for sale on the shop for a kind of small additional income, which is always welcome. And this is what I've been up to these past weeks. Check out my shop, see what's available. I'll be more than happy to assist you with anything. Hope you like this video and have a wonderful week. I'll see you next time.